The previous was supposed to be recorded all together into one large intro, and things have happened, getting used to the medicine, having good days, having then flu bugs around me and things like that. So having life happening, we still continue. Also, Instagram put me on the naughty list. So, so I couldn't continue doing lives, and that was something that was very useful because I could do the live there, save it, and then use it, tweak it, whatever, for other medias. And since I don't, my package doesn't have a fancy wrapper, it's just, I pass on the teachings, and I just pass on a perspective here. What the intro is really about is just letting you know that this was going to be about mental health awareness, but without all the dogmas, without all the chakras, without all that stuff. I do pass very traditional Vama Marga Tantra techniques, chi, and all this other stuff in a positive sexuality way on OnlyFans, and that's where it'll remain, and I'll continue to do that. In the shamanic, I'm always a shaman through bloodline and initiation, so working with the plant medicine and things like that. So that's something that I am, but I'm not working that here in those terms at that point in time. I do always do shamanic work, and if you want the shaman, then reach out to the shaman to say, I wish to talk about that in the subject line, and then begin. But this was something as an observation that no matter what I worked, whether it was positive sexuality, whether it was in a brothel, whether it was in corporate America, no matter where, no matter what, shamanism, extra work in Vegas and working in Vegas, so many things. The common thread was that good mental health was always that gem, that I met a lot of wealthy people that didn't have that gem, that, that inner peace, satisfaction, along with everything. And good mental health was just so visible in someone, and you knew when someone got that recharge, you know when someone had some good sex, you know when someone is feeling good, you know when they have that balance. And it's something that we know when we have that balance. That is the precious thing. And so that is, well, you are the balance. Is probably some of the mystical things I might say. That's about as mystical as I want to get here, because here I want to make it as accessible to all as possible, because in discussing things like chakras and this and that, sometimes people tune out, and people who may need or who would benefit from some of the wisdom within these techniques, or within this simple perspective of seeing things like this, that wisdom gets lost. Me too, sometimes, when I too experience that. When I start hearing, oh, okay, here we go again with this. And I love all those teachings and that belief system. I tell people I don't teach anything. I pass on teachings that served me. But if I stay in that box, then, that's limiting myself because, passing them on now, I see that such a benefit in not passing them on in such a way, or taking them down to the simpler, very basic, true level is what is key here, because there is so much more mental health decay going on. There's so much more mental health, serious issues going on with our youth. There is this need to be entertained. And, whether it's for the purpose of creating a whole new grid in which to live, taking it, high tech, or whether it is that we are refusing to see what's in front of us, or whatever angle, the basic here is mental health. So I will have to use my own real life examples because now it's something that's coming from me directly. I will just describe some of the really good techniques for anxiety. And as we multiply in numbers, we're going to see it increase as well, just for the regular reasons that it had been around before. Some of us just don't want to go in mass numbers, but some of us will do it, and how to do it. And a lot of personal observation is what I want to pass on, along with personal observations of others that I have met along the way, that I have asked, how do you do this? I feel that those things are key, and that, so many people are saying something that I love, that touched me, which is we're all a story, and we cannot let them silence us, because every story is worth hearing and telling. And for me, ADHD, or topped with manic energy, I feel like I have to bring my energy down just to really be here. And so that took me to, once I realized, well, I am the balance, because I say when something is out of balance. And then I took it to, well, my balance, I like here. And I realized that perhaps was not the balance of others, and how for all of us, it's very different. And so taking it just to a very individual and social level, the need for the, or not the need, just the natural cause for the bully, the natural cause for the victim role, and how everything in duality has sides. But you are the one that chooses the side. And by that, I don't mean it as a mystical or whatever thing. It's just that someone will see a race as something exciting and adrenaline rush, recharging, great for their mental health and rejuvenating. And someone else will see that race as something for recognition, something for achievement, something for, just something to take away the sadness or something to take away the pressure. And so everyone sees even winning and things like that in a very different way. And that's okay. But with mental health, we'll just share, I guess, by the fire. And I hope some of the things I say help others. But if they don't, I just felt like the story had to be said somehow. And I wanted not to do it for myself. I wanted to do it for good, how I saw things. And leaving a little legacy of this is how I saw things amidst this. And a lot of it has to do, of course, with my perspective comes from a foundation of a belief system that I have. But I'll be passing it on in a very, very just neutral manner. So that, for example, if going through ADHD or high mania, autism, learning disability, and empathic, you can still, find that balance and that stillness while living instead of hiding, and then finding that final comfort, which others find it in their youth, but finding that comfort in an older age where now you can pass on that stillness. Now you can pass on that, if it becomes a teaching, okay. If not, that story. I couldn't really pass it on before because it hadn't really been lived. So now I feel okay with sharing it, and now Instagram had a whatever hissy fit about saying if you HATE your job, then try astral projection. And so it's the H word that triggers the system. And yes, the medicine is still, but I really wanted to get this done. Thank you. We'll start off, I believe the best one is anxiety. So I already did something on anxiety before, but I still feel that I could, mold it into something that doesn't get into the chakras, doesn't get into all that. Gets into the basic things: our work life, our sex life, our eating habits. Everybody eats, and things like that. Covers basic, simple, everyday stuff. Okay, ciao.